Hello and welcome to Blytheway Business News, where today we are welcoming back Tim Livesey, Chief Executive of Oriole Resources. Oriole listed on the AIM market in London, a market cap of around £7.5 million sterling. The company, as regular viewers will know, is focused on gold exploration in Africa. Tim, welcome back. You've had some positive results over the last week on your projects in Cameroon and Senegal, and you've been topped off today with the announcement of a maiden resource at one of the prospects, the joint venture you have with IAMGOLD, the maiden resource at the Senegal project. Can you remind us what this resource estimate is, the work taken to define it, and where you're now situated?
Absolutely. Hi, Tim. It's good to be back with you. This morning we announced a maiden resource at a prospect called Faray South, which is one of three gold anomaly areas in the Faray prospect itself. This is in the north of the Senegal license, about 50 kilometers away from our Maiden, which is the satellite potential for IAMGOLD Bolto mine development project. So at Faray, we have a strike of about 6.5 kilometers of gold anomalism. And we had previously drilled the center one of these three sort of areas of mineralization prior to the joint venture with IAMGOLD. And we'd intersected some interesting gold results there, some nice grades. And this year, as part of IAMGOLD's earning, they refocused their exploration here to do some diamond and some RC drilling. So what we've done is we've been able, with the additional diamond drilling at there were two holes put into the Faray South target, and those two diamond holes we've been able to add those to our existing diamond and reverse circulation drilling, and we've been able to come forward with the maiden resource, 155,000 ounces. Within a wider, what's classified under JORC as an exploration potential target of 280,000 ounces. So this is very, very early days, obviously, maiden resource, but it's really just indicating that there is potential for mineralization that we've seen in Faray South to hang together. Now, it's still open. It's open along trend north and south, along the trend of the mineralization, and it's open at depth. And this is only the mineralization on the central one of those three pods at Faray. So,
Tim, you're saying there's significant upside potential on the project. Can you explain a bit more about that, and what do you need to do to prove that potential upside is actually there, hopefully?
Well, it's all about the truth machine. It's all about drilling. And of the three target areas, the central zone, Faray South, we had drilled that previously. IAMGOLD put in two diamond drill holes to confirm and to extend our mineralization at depth. And they've also put in some reverse circulation drilling on the two other targets, Faray North, and just to confuse things, Faray Far South. So if you think of it as three cups of mineralization, three pods of mineralization in a line, this resource is in the central one, and there's just over 2 kilometers of anomalism on surface here, so there's plenty of space still to extend this along that trend and at depth. And then if you move up to the northern target, the northern of those three areas, the drilling that they've had there recently, we published results on the drilling there last week, and they've intersected also gold mineralization, slightly narrower, but again, interesting grading gold mineralization. And again, that's about a 2 kilometer trend. So there's lots of space to test there. And then interestingly at Faray Far South, so the southwesternmost target, they had some really good intersections in the reverse circulation drilling last week. And within that, a really high-grade pod of 18 meters at over 6 grams. So we have plenty of evidence on all three of these pods of mineralization that gold is in existence below surface. And it's just a matter of additional drilling now to extend the known mineralization and to infill the gaps. We look at Faray as potentially a series of satellite pits coalescing into one mining district. That's what these very early indications are showing us could be there. And obviously, we would hope that we would be able to prove that up with enough drilling over time.
Okay, thank you. So, Maiden resource at Sinala. Can we now touch upon the news from last week at both the Sinala project and the Cameroonian projects, and how that's going to be defining your future work program and the value of those projects? But let's start by looking at what the year four IAMGOLD program looks like. What does that mean for you?
Well, we're a good way into this fourth year, this first option period for IAMGOLD. And in addition to the drilling which has been completed at the Faray target, IAMGOLD have also been doing some drilling at the Medina Barfay target in the south of the license, south of the Sinala license. Now, Medina Barfay is very close to IAMGOLD's Boto mine development project, where they are spending around about $60 million this year in advanced works. Medina Barfay, again, there's been a little bit of diamond drilling and a reverse circulation drilling program. The reverse circulation program is about 5,000 meters. They've completed just over 3,000 meters to date, and then they got hit with the rains, sort of rained them out. They'll be restarting when the rains stop in the end of Q3, early Q4. And again, they've had good indications from the early work at Medina Barfay. Again, they're getting gold mineralization that's supporting previous drilling that we had. So the 5,000 meters of reverse circulation at Faray and the 5,000 meters of reverse circulation at Medina Barfay, plus a bit of diamond drilling to confirm the targets. That's been the main focus for IAMGOLD this year. They have a commitment, a little over $1.6 million to spend, and that's got to be completed. That exploration has to be completed by the end of February next year, which is the end of the fourth year, which is their first earn-in period. And then they have an option at that stage, if they wish to continue exploring, spend another $4 million over 2 years to extend their ownership, their equity holding up to 70%. So it's obviously been very active with IAMGOLD, and we're very pleased to see great results coming out from both targets, both Faray and Medina, and strengthening our position that Medina Barfay could be a satellite feed for the Boto project, and that the Faray prospect could be a standalone mine development target. So that's been really good. And then obviously we've been busy with our own stuff in Cameroon, as you say.
Tim, you've been very good coming on the show for the last 12 months or so, and keeping us updated on the drilling program, be it diamond drilling or reverse circulation. But let's talk about something a little bit different now, because at the central license package in Cameroon, you've actually been doing some stream sediment sampling. Tell us about that, and what does it tell you?
Well, the stream sediment sampling program is a typical early stage exploration technique, which we do when we have a very large license package. The central licenses were granted to us in February this year, 8 licenses covering just over 3,500 square kilometers. So in addition to the early stage remote sensing and desktop work, interpretation from imagery and so on, to identify interesting areas to focus on, the first pass boots on the ground work is really to get out into those drainage basins and take a series of samples to identify areas of anomalism for gold. And it's in its simplest form, if you find gold in the stream, it's come gravity has brought it there, so you follow it upstream until you find the source. And what we've done so far this year is we've been able to complete the collection of samples over 5 of the 8 licenses. And of those 5 licenses, we've had gold results back for 2 so far in the center of that package. And we're still waiting for the multi-element data to come in for those 2 licenses. And we're still waiting for the whole package, gold and multi-element, for the other 3 of that first 5. Now, what the results have shown us is that we have several drainage basins that have anomalous gold. And thankfully, we're very pleased to see that the anomalism that we see in those drainage basins seems to be tying back to areas which we've already interpreted as having dominant structural trends. So the assumption that we make from this is that these structures where we believe could be hosting mineralization seem to be leaking gold into the drainage systems. So it's very early first pass work, but thankfully it's very fast and very cheap. And the idea is to get our focus into the best areas to follow up on, so that when we go back after the rainy season, we can start our mapping and geophysics and soil sampling and so on in the best, most prospective areas of that huge land package.
So, as you say, this is an inexpensive and early stage, I suppose, part of your exploration programs. The drilling, though, the drilling which you're doing extensively is not inexpensive. Yes. Tell us in a nutshell, in terms of cash burn, where are you? What's the state of the finances at Oriole?
Well, we're in a very good position, actually. Obviously, all of the work in Senegal is being carried out by IAMGOLD, and they're paying. That's part of their earning. So we have no cash burn at all in Senegal. So all of the progression on all those licenses, the 10,000 meters of reverse circulation drilling, the diamond drilling, that's all, we're free carried on all of that. In Cameroon, we have had a drill program earlier this year. We did the 3,000 meters at Bibemi, and we are currently mobilizing teams back into Cameroon to restart the next phase of drilling at Bibemi, and also to restart the work in the central licenses. Now, if you remember, we did have a cash raise last year. We raised a chunk of money, about £1.5 million last year, and we also supplemented that with processing of the sale of some warrants earlier this year. So we had a good amount of money came in, and then subtract from that the program that we ran at Bibemi earlier this year, which was a small drill program. And it's safe to say we wouldn't be mobilizing teams back out into the bush if we didn't have cash to pay for them. We're in a very fortunate position with our drilling, in that we have a contract with Capital Drilling, and they were kind enough to leave the rig which did the Bibemi program on site at Bibemi. So remobilizing that is very simple. There's no cost to remobilizing. We just fly the driller in, turn the rig back on again, and start drilling. So the targets that we've identified at Bibemi, we hope to get active and get that rig on them straight away as soon as the team's out in September. We'll be progressing, also restarting the stream sediment sampling in the western part of the central licenses and processing of samples. So these are all costs that are factored into our raise last time round. We also have shown the market, I think, very clearly that we are extremely diligent on reducing our G&A, and we have done that year on year since myself and Bob and the new management team and board came on back in 2018. So we're very focused. We pretty much ring-fenced the money that we earn and we raise for these projects. Now, in addition to all of that, obviously, we still have value tied up in the company, other assets. We talked about potential for royalty sales last year, and we have other income streams from our assets in Turkey and from some of our partner deals in Turkey. So it's a pretty fluid situation with cash in a junior company like ours. But our goal is not to sit with a large cash balance, because effectively we're sitting doing nothing with money in the bank. We're wasting the investors' time. The idea of exploration is to turn over licenses as quickly as you can, to carry out exploration, identify prospectivity, whether or not that license has got potential, and if it has, to continue developing that potential, and if it hasn't, then to get rid of the license, either sell it, joint venture it out, walk away from it. And so we are a pretty focused team in a very aggressive stance, a very aggressive approach to this exploration.
Tim, well, thank you for that summary. Thank you for the update. That was Tim Livesey, Chief Executive of Oriole Resources, talking us through the Maiden resource at the Sinala project, giving us an update on the rest of the portfolio, and also a quick overview of the finances at Oriole. Viewers may wish to know that the next interview on Blytheway Business News with Oriole will be coming up soon and will be after their interim financial results. That's it from Blytheway Business News for today. Thanks for watching.